Okay, welcome in as promised. Doing a daily editorial right now, daily video editorial. We're doing more and more of these. The three we did last week were very, very well received. Isn't it interesting how much more effective these are when you can actually see what the other person is saying, when you can read his or her body language, etc. I find this to be absolutely a great way to do daily editorials. Okay, I've got Aaron Keay Aaron Keay with me on the line right now. Aaron is the president of a company called Revolution. Revolution is very, very interesting in the sense that they have a couple of major assets, one in Mexico and one in the Carolinas. The one in the Carolinas has drawn an awful lot of interest. Aaron was recently in San Francisco, along with one of his colleagues, addressing a number of brokers, a couple dozen brokers down there, and the response that I got from these guys was very, very favorable because they are interested in what's going on the East Coast in the Carolinas. Aaron, let's start right now by talking about that and where you guys are in terms of that particular project and what you plan to do to hopefully advance it over the next 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, so our short-term plans right now is we haven't been as active as we were, say, 2011, early 2012. And the main reason is one of our neighbors, which is one of the best stories, I think, in the U.S. right now from a gold near-term development standpoint, is the Remarco story. They had some permitting concerns, mainly reflective of doing an EA instead of a completed EIS. And so we slowed down a lot of our exploration activities, but we had a great first season there. And next year, I'd say probably Q1, you'd see us go back in and move towards doing our first maiden resource.
Now, what exactly is the status of the East Coast property right now?
In what respect, Al? I mean, we have option agreements with all of our. Are you talking about our company or Remarco?
No, I'm talking about your company.
Yeah, so our properties are all option and lease agreements. We've been doing continued work to expand kind of the known surface areas and really drill targeting. We've got a full drill program planned for next year, and we think it's an area that's going to become quite exciting again because of the success you'll see Remarco having as they move towards production.
Well, I know Remarco pretty well. I've done a number of interviews in the past with their president. He's a pretty hard-working guy. So basically, you're planning then on going ahead full steam, for lack of better terms, beginning in Q1 of 2003. Is that right?
Yeah, I'd say we're cautiously optimistic, and the main reason I'd say that is you still have to be cognizant of the market environment we're in. The exploration market right now is still challenging, but we see it as our flagship property. We see it as the opportunity to get to a successful and positive resource, and with the success, I think, of our neighbors going to having a story back in production in that area, I think it's going to be very well received from an investor standpoint, and I think you'll see other juniors in that area get refinanced because there's some that are quite a bit smaller than even we are that have struggled to get money to continue to advance exploration.
Well, the interesting thing here that comes to mind when you said that, is a lot of folks, a lot of my newsletter writer friends, analysts, etc., have said what the industry really needs is an area play of sorts, and that was kind of the case in the Yukon, but it really didn't work out as well as a lot of people hoped that it would. I could foresee this thing happening based on the success of Remarco here in the next few months. I can see a major, is major the right word? Let's just say an effective area play occurring in the area where you guys are, because that will bring in my opinion, the mainstream American investors, because they can relate to the area much more so than in other parts of, if your asset were in other parts of the world.
Yeah, I think it's funny that you use the correlation to the Yukon, because if you look at our management team, and more specifically the majority of our board and technical team, they were the ones that had the big first takeover in the Yukon with Rob McLeod and our chairman Michael with Underworld. And then you saw that the rush and the area play come into effect there. This has been the first company that those two individuals joined the board of post Underworld, and Rob and the team here has done a fantastic job in Carolina. And if you want to look at one validator in our property portfolio beyond what our technical team's done, is that Remarco came and bought property around us after we made our discoveries. So for sure, the area play effect is going to, I think, trickle down on both sides of the North and South Carolina borders.
I don't think there's any question whatsoever about that. Talk briefly, if you would, about the management team, would you?
My background is I've operated as a bit of a merchant banker, and I funded a number of junior companies like this, and that was how I've officially first met Michael and Rob McLeod. So Rob and Mike founded both Full Metal Minerals and then Underworld. We had formed another company together with Dr. Peter McGaw.
Right.
Peter sits on our board as our technical advisory board as well. So we've been able to pull together a great technical group, combination of the likes of like Darren Wagner from Balmoral, formerly West Timmins, Peter with a lot of Mexican experience, and then we've even brought in Pete Evans from the old Ridgeway mine, which is the largest past producer in the Carolina Slate Belt. So I think it's a good balance of technical expertise for both of our portfolios and financial and market expertise with the ability to capitalize these companies in good and bad times.
Well, I have to tell you, I really respect the staff, for lack of better terms. I use that word loosely, that you've put together. Peter McGaw is one of my best friends in the business, coincidentally. I've known Peter for quite some time now. Socialized a bit with he and his wife and my wife, and I got to tell you, he is, in my opinion, one of the most savvy PhD geologist out there. Aaron, I want to thank you very much for your time. We want to do this again here in the next 2 or 3 weeks and talk a little bit about some of the other directions that the company is taking. Thanks, my friend.
No, thank you, Al.
Got to interject one thing, by the way, in the interest of full disclosure, and you all know that. This is not arm's length information. I am very, very close to this company. They are sponsors on our website. That means if you want any information on Revolution, simply click on their banner. I like the company a lot. I will be purchasing shares in it. Prior to doing that, a minimum of 3 days prior to my purchase, I will let you folks know. Aaron, thanks again, buddy.